Rogues deck, but today we are going to check out this Magic the Gathering Starter Kit. Magic the Gathering Arena Starter Kit, because this is just crazy. Apparently, this is the second or third edition of this set, starting back in Zendikar Rising, or maybe even as recently as Kaldheim. Basically, it's 2 full decks to be able to play out of the box, and a code for those 2 decks in Arena, which is pretty crazy when you think about the fact that these retail for $10. So you get 2 full paper Magic decks, and you get 2 full Arena decks, mirrors of these decks that come in the box, and you only pay $10 for them. And some of the cards that were in the previous versions were a little crazy in price, so we decided to pick one up, because we're always looking for ways to add to our Arena collection without spending a ton of money, and we want to check out these cards. So the people we have on the front here, we've got the Dragon's Guard Elite, is the headlining act of this black-green Golgari deck, and then we've got the, what does it say? It's behind the thing. Cyclone Summoner here is the headliner for the blue-red deck. And then, as we can see on the back here, we've got some looking to learn how to play Magic instructions. We get 2 deck boxes, a Magic play guide, 2 ready-to-play 60-card decks. We're going to get some lands, and then we get a code for Arena. And again, this was only $10. If you're looking to get a couple of decks, maybe just have a fun way to hit the store and go to a friend's place and play some Magic right out of the box, or you're looking to get someone in your family into Magic the Gathering, both in the digital format on Arena and also in paper Magic, this is a really amazing place to start. I bought 2 because I'm going to gift one of them to somebody who has just started playing Magic with me and is always asking a bunch of great questions, and we've been playing a lot of Magic together, so I'm going to do that. But first, we're going to open mine. Check it out. Alright, the box is nice. Like, there's some shiny foil bits. I know that might not mean much to a lot of people, but to me that's pretty cool. Alright, so what do we got in here? Well, that's the box. Pretty rad. Like that. Gonna put that over on the side. We've got our 2 deck boxes right here. Now, they're identical deck boxes, so you're not going to be able to tell which of these starter decks you're putting in there. And then we've got some codes somewhere. I don't. Okay, apparently there's a code card. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this little booklet here, this starter kit play guide, it's very interesting and goes into quite a lot of detail. All of those little cards that you get in the booster packs, the little helpful hint cards, this has all of the content from those. So it tells you how to cast spells, what activating or adding mana looks like, or attacking. It breaks down what planeswalkers are and how to use them. And then there's a huge glossary of stuff like tap, activate abilities, battlefield, colorless, color, controller, counter on permanent, damage, death touch, all of the card basics, lifelink, menace, reach, haste, hexproof, indestructible. It goes through everything, trample. Yeah, that's really, really great. And then there's a couple of FAQs on the back here can my creatures attack my opponent's creatures during combat? That's a good question. That's asked by a lot of people just starting to play Magic. Do I have to pay a creature's mana cost every turn that is in the battlefield? That's another question that came up. So the other day, sorry, I'm just going to move my chair a little bit closer to the other day I was playing Magic with my mom for the first time in paper, and a lot of these questions were brought up at the table. So that's really good. That's super interesting. That'd be very handy to keep on hand. Very handy to keep on hand if you were to just start playing Arena and maybe don't understand all the things that are going on in that game while you're playing it. So let's take a quick look at how are we supposed to... Oh, okay, there's 2 layers here. Oh, shit. So we got our 2 front boys. I'm just gonna toss this to the side. We got our 2 front-facing boys. They're both holographic foils. And these are Strixhaven and Kaldheim. Well, I must... Oh, there's a Mind Flayer in here. That's rad. There's a Mind Flayer right up front on this blue-red deck. Which means that they've got AFR cards in here. Come on, camera. Focus. Alright, it doesn't want to focus. That's fine. That's fair. Everybody deserves to take time off. Okay, and there's our arena code. So we're just going to quickly grab... I don't have a ton of black sleeves because the store I went to today was out of black sleeves. I prefer the matte black Dragon Shield sleeves. So we're just going to sleeve up these foils here at the front. They are both gold foils. So those are really, really cool. And then we've got our Golgari deck, which has Oran Reef Ooze on the front. And Oran Reef Ooze gets a lot of play right now in Standard. Very, very interesting. And we're just going to toss this aside. We've got 2 decks, 2 deck leaders, 2 deck boxes. And we've got a play guide, which is really awesome. And I know that Magic Wizards of the Coast has been focusing on making products like this a lot. Products that help people get in the door, things like the game night box, and stuff that gets people, especially playing Arena at the time, the current state of the world we're living in, where everything is in turmoil and everything sucks butts, and why not play some Arena with your friends if we can't get together in person? But this is just seems like an outstanding value for $9.99 Canadian. You get 2 full decks and 2 full decks in Arena, and it's all modern, it's all standard recent stuff. I mean, these two headlining cards are great. The Dragon's Guard Elite has Magecraft, which was a big deal in Strixhaven. And Cyclone Summoner has, when Cyclone Summoner ETBs, if you cast it from your hand, return all permanents to their owner's hands except for giants, wizards, and lands. So you play a giants deck, and you're Gucci. And then we've got our little deck boxes. The Magic the Gathering, the Wizards cardboard deck boxes really, really suck. I've gotten a few. I have like a old Liliana Challenger deck box. Like that's not gonna fit. As soon as I put these in sleeves, that's not gonna fit. I don't know why they don't make products for sleeved cards. Like, everyone sleeves. Who's not playing with sleeves? I understand keeping your collection sleeveless if you've got the good old cardboard boxes, but not putting a deck in sleeves? That seems like bonkers to me. The design's alright. It's got a nice little like wood texture. It's got a Planeswalker logo with a little crystal. Is that a Magic Arena thing? I don't think so. The Arena logo on my computer is an A with the Planeswalker logo inside of it. And it's got this little just wooden texture all around it. It's got some branding, copyright stuff on the bottom, and Magic the Gathering logo on the top. And yeah, it's just a cheap little thing. I would probably put a deck in here if I wanted to just, you know, open these packs and let's play right now. I don't know if I'd travel with them. I mean, the corners are hard enough where you're, as long as you're careful with your bag or whatever you put it into, it's not going to ruin everything. I don't think. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and open one of these packs. I'm going to open the one with the arena code on the back so I can get that out of the way as soon as possible. And then what we're going to do after we open these and check it out, I'm going to put the code in Arena and we're going to play with these decks. We can see how they feel. Let's just open this up. A little bit of package ASMR maybe. I guess if I cuss, that's not really ASMR, is it? Oh, why is this such a bitch to open? There we go. Ooh. Okay, oh, I'm going to put my arena code to the side because I want that code. We've got a Mind Flayer, which is great gold. Dominate monster. When Mind Flayer enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature for as long as you control Mind Flayer. So you get a 3/3 and you get whatever target creature. And we've got Bruna or Arnie Brokenbrow, a human berserker with haste and a boast mechanic. Come on now. That's a pretty cool card. I love his story. I headbutted a troll and won. And boast. You may change Arnie Brokenbrow's base power to 1 plus the greatest power among other creatures you control until end of turn. You may change Arnie Brokenbrow's base power to 1 plus the greatest. So if you've got an 8/8, you can boast him for 1 mana. It's like barely anything. And he's only a 3 mana to cast. And so if you have an 8/8 on the field, all of a sudden Arnie Brokenbrow becomes a 9/3 until end of turn, which is pretty great. If only he was in a green deck where there was big beefy creatures. We have a giant berserker, Calamity Bearer. That's pretty cool. Human wizard. Okay, so the not commander, the face card of this deck is the Cyclone Summoner. And just to remind you, he has when Cyclone Summoner ETBs, if you cast it from your hand, return all permanents to their owner's hands except for giants, wizards, and lands. So I'm assuming this deck is going to have a lot of giants and wizards. We've already got 1 giant berserker. Wait, what is Mind Flayer? A horror? Yeah. Archmage Emeritus. Oh wait, I wanted to show you. I'm just gonna put this down here. Where did my... There it is. Arnie. Take a look at this guy. He's buff. It's pretty great. I mean, that's why I'm thinking that this is such a good deal, because a lot of these cards are useful. This isn't a bunch of garbage that Wizards of the Coast has just shoved into decks and hope that you pay attention and want to use in your games, but this is actual good stuff here, and I think that means something. And for only $10 you get 2 of these decks. But let's keep going. Maybe the rest of it's trash. So we've got Archmage Emeritus Magecraft from the Strixhaven set. We've got Vortex Runner, another wizard from the Strixhaven set. As long as you control 8 or more lands, Vortex Runner gets 1/1/0 and can't be blocked. Interesting. Okay, we got 2 of those. We got 2 Frost Tricksters. Bird Wizard, so another wizard to go with our Cyclone Summoner. When Frost Trickster ETBs, target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap stage. So they're going with the Frost mechanic. Oh, we've got a full play set of Tricksters. And then we've got 2 Field Researchers. Draw 2 cards. If this spell was kicked, draw 3 cards instead. That's a 6 mana total kicker. Total with kicker is 6 mana to draw 3 cards. Quite a bit. Wormhole Serpent. Oh, we got a couple of those guys. So he's a 4 and a blue for a 3/5 Serpent. And he has an ability. 3 and a blue, target creature can't be blocked this turn. That's very interesting. Because it doesn't tap. As long as you have 4 mana, you can do that over and over again. Then we've got some red here. We've got Teeter Peak Ambusher. Come on. Come on. Anyway. Teeter Peak Ambusher is a Goblin Warrior for 1 and a red. And he has an ability, 2 and a red. Teeter Peak Ambusher gets +2/+0 till end of turn. So, it's kind of a standard Goblin card. We've got some Axguard Cavalries from Kaldheim. 1 and a red for a 2/2 Dwarf Berserker. It has a tap ability, tap, and target creature gains haste until end of turn. I have a few of these. I've made a couple dwarf decks just to mess around with at home, and that's a lot of fun. And we've got a full set of Run Amucks. It's a 1 and a red instant. Target attacking creature gets 3/3 and gains trample until end of turn. So you might look at this deck and say, oh, it's got blue in it, so it might be not weak, but maybe a little hesitant. It's, you know, blue is always trying to control, and as long as it can control, then it's happy. And so if we're looking at a situation where these blue cards this deck seems to be built around aggro, which is interesting. I'm just trying to think of a better place to put this camera. Maybe I should put this little stand down here. And bring the camera. I just want you guys to be a little bit closer. Can you focus, please? It focused there for a second. Hello? Okay, I might have to do this manually. Apologies. Configure. Focus. Away. Alright, there we go. I'm just gonna leave this camera control up so I can refocus it if I need to. So we've got some run amucks. I'm gonna just put this stack over here. We've got 3 red dragons. I'm not sure why they went with 3. That's interesting. Red dragon, whenever red dragon ETBs, it deals 4 damage to each opponent, which is pretty interesting. Can win or lose some games. Got Thundering Rebuke here. Thundering Rebuke deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and it's a 1 and a red. Again, we have 3 of those. This is the Cyclone Summoner deck. So I'm just gonna bring him up. Okay, and then we've got I wish this was higher. Wish this was higher. Now I'm just mucking about with my camera right now. It's boring. Put it on. Nope, that's not gonna work. Well, I'm gonna put it back up to the top. I think that was better. Oh, now I'm stuck on something. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna move this back over here. And we're gonna change the focus to layer. All right. Well, I'm sorry about the pain in the ass moving everything around. I promise I'm just trying to get it right. So, we have some Evolving Wilds, which is great. We have a full playset of Evolving Wilds. Sack to search for a library, basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. And then we probably have a split mana base. So we've got some lesson cards here. Put those aside, and then we've probably got half and half, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, interesting. I didn't notice that big of a difference between the two colors. So, yeah. I'm going to sleeve these up in a little bit, and oh, there's a random island there. How did that get there? And then once we're done looking through the other pack, we're going to put the code into Arena, and we will play with these decks online, and then hopefully when my partner gets home, I will play with these decks in person. It'd be interesting to just play with stuff. I'm always such a tweaker. Every time I get a new thing, I'm always tweaking it. So I don't know if you noticed, but out of the box we've got 5 rares, which is pretty interesting. We've got Calamity Bearer, Arnie Broken Brow, Archmage, Emeritus, Cyclone Summoner, and a Mind Flayer. I think that those are some pretty cool cards. It's nice to see blue be quite a bit aggro. There's a lot of this Vortex Runner gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. There's a bit of control in the freezing and not untapping, some draw spells. Target creature can't be blocked. There's lots of interesting non-control focused blue cards in here, and I think that that is really, really cool. I'm not sure that Cyclone Summoner is the highlight of this deck, but I guess if they're putting a bunch of wizards and giants into this deck, then obviously this is the one they're going to want to highlight. And that's why they chose to make this one into the foil one. I feel like Arnie Broken Brow is very interesting if you're playing a big creatures deck. I don't play a lot of red, so I'm not super familiar with some of that aggro playstyle, but I feel like maybe Cyclone Summoner isn't the cherry on top. Although he is a 7/7, but he's 7 CMC, 5 and 2 blue. So it's pretty steep. So next we're going to look at Dragon Guard Elite deck, which should be... Oh, I don't have this on auto focus anymore. Oh, there we go. We had it for a sec. Anyway, Dragon Guard Elite. Let me just pull it up here. Dragon Guard Elite. Dragon Guard is one word, you idiot. Dragon's Guard. Okay, Dragon's Guard Elite. There we go. So this is the Golgari deck. It's blue-black on the... Not blue-black, green-black on the package. I threw the package away. Yeah, it is blue, green-black. The other one was blue-red. No white. And I ain't mad at that. So let's open this up. So she's the highlight. She is a 1 and a green 2/2 human druid with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, put 1/1 counter on Dragon's Guard Elite. She also has an ability 4 and 2 green, double the number of 1/1 counters on Dragon's Guard Elite. So she can get real buff real fast, and that's very interesting. Nice little Strixhaven card there. So let's go ahead and open this up. I will open it up next to the microphone. Ooh, yes. Sorry, I just get a kick out of ASMR bullshit. So we got a nice little play lesson card on there. And let's take a look at the last deck had five rares? 5 rares. So our featured rare and then 1 legendary. Let's see what this one has. So this one has a Orin Reef Ooze. He's a 2 and a green for a 2/2 green ooze creature. When Orin Reef Ooze enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So we can put that on Dragon's Guard Elite and then double those counters later. When Orin Reef Ooze attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each attacking creature with a 1/1 counter on it. That's gonna get nutty. That's gonna get real nutty. Read the words. Gotta read the words. Come on, camera.
Yeah, it's not about the ideas, it's about how you support the ideas.
Okay, so our next rare is a Crag's Plate Baloth. 5 and 2 green for a 6/6 beast. And he has a kicker, 2 and a green. So that would make him in a 10 mana cost kicker total. This spell can't be countered. He's hexproof and haste. If Crag Plate Baloth was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 4 1/1 counters on it, so it becomes a 10/10. And then if you attack with Orin Reef Ooze, you put a 1/1 counter on each attacking creature with a 1/1 counter on it. And then you pay this one, and you double Dragon's Guard Elite. Oh my god, that's gonna get bonkers. So our next rare is Cleaving Reaper from the Kaldheim set. She's 3 and 2 black. An Angel Berserker with 5 power, 3 toughness. She's flying and trample. She has an ability, pay 3 life, return Cleaving Reaper from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only if you had an Angel or Berserker enter the battlefield under your control this turn. So it feels to me like these decks are made to just play aggro completely. Cleaving Reaper, there we go. Cleaving Reaper. So that's our fourth rare, and then our last rare is Asmodeus the Archfiend from the AFR set. So let's Asmodeus. So we've got Asmodeus as our last rare in this deck. He is a legendary creature, 4 and 2 black for a Devil God. He has a binding contract. If you would draw a card, exile the top card of your library face down instead. So you no longer get to draw, which is interesting. If you pay 3 black, you can draw 7 cards. And because you have a binding contract, you can't draw 7 cards. You have to exile 7 cards. If you pay 1 black, return all cards exiled with Asmodeus the Archfiend to their owner's hand and lose that much life. Oof. So you want to balance this out. So I would say you want to find a way to scry a good number. And then if you decide you don't want what's on top, or maybe you do want what's on top, you draw, which in this case you would exile instead of draw because you can't draw. And then you pay the 1 black and lose the 1 life. Because you only have to pay 1 life. Return all exiled cards with Asmodeus the Archfiend to their owner's hand and lose that much life. Yeah, so you pay 1 life per card you return. So if you're doing this 1 card at a time, say near the beginning of the game, which you're not going to be because he's a 6 CMC creature. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you outlast your opponent and get near end game. Why am I holding it up? I have the preview card right there. Yeah, I don't know that there's a fantastic reason to do all of this. I mean, other than I guess if you have a full life or extra life, if you've been gaining life so far, you could pay 3 to draw 7 cards, which means you exile 7 cards because you don't get to draw with Asmodeus out on the battlefield. And then once you've exiled those 7 cards, you would pay the 1 to take 7 life and get 7 new cards. I think that makes more sense. That's something I would do if I had spare 7 life. Say I had 10 life and I needed an answer and I needed it now. I could just pay 4 mana, pay 7 life, and I'd get 7 new cards in my hand that might turn the tide. That's very interesting card to add to this. And then we've got Vampire Spawn. This one is a very, very popular card in AFR right now, especially in draft, especially those playing black. I've seen a lot of games won and lost with Vampire Spawn. Every time it enters the battlefield, the opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Sure, it's a 2/3, which isn't super crazy, but for 3 mana, it's pretty good. The art is pretty wild on it. Shout out to Alex Brock for doing the art on this card. I think it's very interesting, especially at the end of turn play, to just gain 2 life and take 2 life from your opponent. I think that's very interesting. So then we've got the next card is Spectre of the Fens. So Spectre of the Fens is 3 and a black for a 2/3 flying Spectre. There is an ability, you pay 5 and a black, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. That's interesting. You pair that with Vampire Spawn. Say you've already got one of these out on the battlefield, and you have 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Near the end of the game, you get 4 life healed and you take 4 life from your OP. So that's super interesting. We got 2 of those. The next one is a card I love because I am a huge fan of brewing Draugr decks from the Kaldheim set. It's Karfell Kennelmaster. He's 4 and a black for a 4/4 zombie berserker. Okay, there was a card, Cleaving Reaper. Return Cleaving Reaper from your battlefield to your hand. Activate this ability only if you've had an Angel or Berserker ETB under your control this turn. So this triggers our Cleaving Reaper, which is nice. We can bring them back from the graveyard. So the Karfell Kennelmaster has, when Karfell Kennelmaster ETBs, up to 2 target creatures each get +1/+0 and gain indestructible till the end of turn. So Karfell, he attack, he protect. He's a good boy. Good zombie berserker. And we got 2 of those. So that's nice. I would have kind of liked a full play set of them, but I've got a few from my Kaldheim set, so if I wanted a full play set, I could put one together. The next card is Oblivion's Hunger. 1 and a black for an instant. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Draw a card if that creature has a 1/1 counter on it. And as we already talked about with Ooze Reef and Cragplate Baloth, and our lead card here, the Dragon's Guard Elite, it's going to be a lot of 1/1 counters floating around. So it's a very interesting instant. You get to put indestructible on target creature and draw a card, assuming that you make one of your 1/1s indestructible. Not 1/1s, one of your creatures with a counter on it. So the next card, it's not the fancy full art version that just popped up, but we'll take it. Is the Black Dragon. 5 and 2 blacks for a 4/4 dragon creature with flying. Acid Breath. When Black Dragon enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls get -3/-3 until the end of turn. So that's a good debuff. We've got 2 of those. That's pretty this deck's pretty interesting so far. Lots of 1/1s. There's lots of paying life to draw cards. And now we've got some debuffs with this black dragon, which is it's nice to have. Then we have Scurried Colony. And I'm spending a lot of time looking at these cards because some of them are unfamiliar to me, some of them are very familiar to me. The only Strixhaven products I have are a commander deck and a couple of boosters. Kaldheim I have a bit more of a collection of, and then AFR, I'm very familiar with the AFR cards. So I'm just spending, there's lots of cool stuff. It looks like we're going all the way back to Zendikar with these sets, so it's interesting to see the variation of products or cards that they've put into this product. So Scurried Colony is 1 and a green for a 2/2 squirrel, and if you love squirrels, Scurried Colony is a must, because Scurried Colony gets 2/2 as long as you control 8 or more lands. If you've got a bunch of Scurried Colonies, and this deck is gonna have 3. Oh, I thought it was gonna have 4. This deck has 4. Play them near the end of the game, and all of a sudden they're all 4/4s, and that's pretty dope. You get some Toski in there, and get a Squirrel Captain, and it's gonna be a good fun time for you, not for the person you're playing against. So this next card is Dauntless Survivor. Oops. Dauntless Survivor is a 1 and a green for a 1/1 human warrior. When Dauntless Survivor enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Now this is dope because he's a 2 mana 1/1, and we have a full playset of these. Yeah, we got 4 of them. So we have 4 Dauntless Survivors. They're cheap to cost. They're chump blockers, basically, because what you want to do is take these Cragplate, Baloths, Oran Reef Ooze, and Dragon's Guard Elite and put those counters on these cards. So you're basically getting free counters for cheap mana. Also somebody who you can throw in front of some damage. I think this card is fantastic in this deck. It's going to make playing this deck a whole lot more fun, especially near the end of the game when you're trying to get the most out of your creatures, and especially some of these rarer creatures. The next one is a Mirasa card, which is awesome because I love Mirasa and the whole lore of that kind of jungle creature connection. The Mirasa Brute is 2 and a green for a 3/3 troll warrior, and that's it. All flavor text on here. Nothing fancy, just a 3/3 for 3 mana. That's perfect. This is the perfect creature card. This is the perfect, I guess, boring creature card, because it's 3 mana, it's 3 power, it's 3 toughness. It's just straight across the board. Works really well. I appreciate that. I forgot to turn on my little radical int. Elbows are fucking shit up. Alright, so let's take a look at what's next. We got 2, 3, we got 3 brutes. And then we've got Might of Mirasa, which is a card I use all the time in my green decks, my Simic decks, because it is fucking dope. For 1 and a green, you can put a 3/3 counter on a creature until end of turn. It's an instant speed, so you play it after blocks are declared, and it ruins people's days. But it also has a kicker. So instead of paying 1 and a green, you can pay 3 and 2 green, and you can put a 5/5 counter on that creature instead. This is just the gold standard for basic instant creature buffs in green. Basic standard, and they give you 4 of them, which should tell you more than you need to know about how good they are and how standard they are. You can choose the 3/3 or kick it up to the 5/5. Either way, your opponents are having a bad time. The next one we've got is another standard, especially in people playing standard. Pardon me. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. We've got a Rabid Bite. The Rabid Bite is one of those sorceries where it works in green, and the reason why it's almost always exclusively green is because you want creatures to fight one another outside of combat. And Rabid Bite is 1 in a green, and it is a sorcery, so you have to play it during your turn, your main steps. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So this is just a standard green stompy card. It lets you do damage to an opponent's creature without taking any damage yourself. And then that's it. That's the end of the deck. We've got another full playset of Evolving Wilds. And then we've got, looks like M21 swamps and M21 forests. I didn't check to see if the forests were, or the islands and mountains were different in the other one. And that's great. You always want Evolving Wilds so you can search for the specific thing you want. I do notice there's a bit of a curve to these cards. I don't know if it's just the way they were packaged and sitting in together. Yeah, so we've got our 5 rares here. And this is very cool. I'm going to take a quick picture. I'm going to move these up here. Oh, did my radical thing die? No, it's just on a cold color right now. Then I'm going to do the same. I think these are absolutely fantastic. I think there's some really unique cards in here. One of the problems I have with the general build of some of these starter decks that Wizards of the Coast puts out is that they don't ever feel like they're trying to put anything complicated in front of new players, and I think that it sets up a different maybe a different standard or a different idea that perhaps Magic isn't as complicated of a game as other people have made it out to be. And it's not that I think they're being disingenuous on purpose. I think it's just that there's something missing with the ability to use a full crazy deck in the way that maybe it was intended, and have a lot of fun playing crazy Magic, because everyone's got stories about crazy Magic. And when you buy these starter packages or go to your LGS and get one of the free new player packs, those are pretty basic cards. And these 2 decks are not basic cards. There's a lot of complicated mechanics working here. Sorry, I'm gonna move my card preview. There's a lot of really interesting mechanics working here. There's you know, you've got a blue-red deck that is full aggro. There's not a ton of control. There's a lot of cool ETB stuff. This Cyclone Summoner is very interesting. You got a Mind Flayer, which takes control over an opponent's card. Arnie Broken Brow is really interesting because he becomes as powerful as your most powerful card on the battlefield. And then looking up here at the Golgari deck, you've got a lot of life gain and life drain. You've got a lot of stuff to do with 1/1 counters, thanks to these green cards. And I don't know how well all of this stuff is going to work together, but it's interesting that they're not resting on a more simple style of Magic. They're not wait, where did my configure window thing go? There it is. They are not making something too simple, and I think that that's super important. Where's my focus? Oh, that's as far as it's going to focus. Okay. And it's not zoomed in all the way either. Oh, maybe it is. That's really as far as it'll zoom. So that's fully zoomed out. And it stops zooming in right there. Huh. I guess that is as far as it's gonna zoom. I guess I could always stretch it. That looks like butts though. I'll figure out a better way to do this next time we do a little pack opening. But for now, I'm going to take a picture of these, and then we're going to hop. I'm going to take a short break, and then we can hop over to Arena and put in the codes. So just as a recap, this is the Magic Arena Starter Kit. So it came with 2 full decks, 2 60-card decks. Very interesting cards and mechanics in it. And it also comes with an Arena code for you to redeem these 2 decks in Arena. So you get 2 decks to play at home, 2 decks to play in Arena. And we're going to put in the code for Arena in a moment, because we're trying to get more cards for our collection. And we'll see, we'll just play some regular games, or maybe challenge people if they want to come in and say what's up, and we'll play these decks and see how they do. So I will be right back, and we'll hop over to Arena in a little bit. Cool. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention is that this whole set, so the 2 full 60-card decks with some very interesting cards, and they've got stuff from Kaldheim, Strixhaven, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. There's lots of really interesting stuff in here, and this whole set, 2 60-card decks plus 2 60-card decks in Arena, is $9.99 Canadian. So definitely check out your game store. Ask them if they have any of these Arena starter kits, and definitely pick one of these up, because this deal is just, it's too good. And apparently the guy at my store, shout out to Abbotsford House of Cards, the guy at my store said that some of the cards in last month's version, the last one that Wizards put out, were worth like $12. You've made a profit immediately on buying this $9.99 thing, and you get some more cards for Arena. So if you're lacking in the collection on Arena, definitely check that out. Yeah, and we'll be right back. I'm just gonna go take a quick break, use the washroom, and then we'll put these codes in Arena.